Hello everybody and welcome back to the video. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much as always for joining me on today's video. It's been a while since I've uploaded. I've had so many things going on outside of YouTube. We've been getting substantial amounts of rain. So I've actually been dealing with some house stuff. So that is why I've not uploaded in forever. And there's been a ton of new news that has kind of come out about the C8 Corvette. And I obviously want to update you guys on everything that I've heard. There's tons of other YouTubers doing this, but it's kind of, since it's such a pivotal point of where I want to take this channel, I think it makes sense for me to update you guys on the C8. I'm hoping to do some more videos with the R8, bearing if we can get any decent weather, so that I can do that. I'd love to go and do like a photo shoot. There's some really cool places in downtown Kansas City where I could maybe get some photos with the R8, maybe bring you guys along with me so you can see that whole situation. But, you know, we'll see. But back to what I want to talk about today, and that is, again, the C8 Corvette. Now, the interior of the C8 Corvette is like the whole holy grail of nobody's seen it yet. We've seen the exterior, even though it's kind of camouflage, it's very light camouflage. Nobody knows what the C8. There's actually a photo I'll show you right here that is showing the interior of the C8, but it's clothed. Like, everything is covered up. You can't see anything in the photo. It doesn't give you a huge representation of what the final product of the C8 will be. And it even could change from just even that design layout they have there. Even though it's covered, it could change from there. But there is a new render that has come out of the C8 Corvette, and I wanted to show you guys that. But before I get any further, I want to talk about renderings. And it's very important that I talk about that. I've had a ton of renders that I put on a lot of my C8 videos. And these renders normally are taken from the actual evidence we have, which means they've seen the camouflage C8, they've seen the different angles, and especially now that the new lighter camouflage, the much tighter camouflaging where it's not like everything's covered, you can't even see the angles, the renderings have gotten very good. They've probably gotten fairly close to what the C8 will look like. I've actually got a new render right here. I feel like may not be exactly it, but it will be very close. We're getting a very good idea, and that's what these renderings offer. But they have a basis for the rendering to take place. They have something to go off of to actually make this said rendering. And so I've gotten a lot of pushback. A lot of people seem to like the renderings, but I've also gotten pushback. Usually the pushback, though, is people saying, oh, this isn't what it's going to look like, yada, 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 all these other reasons. But then I also get a lot of people that seem to like it. That's great. But my point being with this is, again, there's a basis for these renderings. The new C8 interior rendering that someone has created, to me, has no basis. We've seen no true photos to base it off of. And obviously, if we saw some photos, even if it was semi-camouflaged, you'd have a better idea. If there was no camouflage, you wouldn't need renderings in general. But someone has created a render, and I'm going to go ahead and show that to you right now. All right, so as you can see with this rendering, it kind of looks cool. You definitely get a sense of the C7 interior. You've got that little pillar off to the right, and it definitely looks like a stretched C7, kind of where the main screen is. Then you have like an upgraded, looks like a steering wheel with tons of buttons on it, a upgraded kind of where the tachometer, speedometer is behind there. It's obviously all going to be digital. And then what you really notice the difference is where the climate control central is. You're seeing lots of kind of lined up buttons, almost like off of a Lamborghini, a little touchpad, touchscreen. It definitely looks futuristic, but to me it looks a little off. And obviously that's the rendering. It feels like more like, instead of someone rendered something new, they took different things and just kind of like they stretched out the C7 interior, tacked on a, almost a Ford GT. Someone in the comments of the Mid Engine Corvette forum talked about the Ford GT look of it. Just a bunch of things going on, and I feel like it doesn't flow that well. It's almost like copy and pasted of you know, the Huracan or a Lamborghini and then the C7 and then a Ford GT. There's a lot going on. Not that I hate it, I really don't. There's some people that hated the look of this. I don't hate the look of it. What I hate is, my point being, is this again is a render, but there's really nothing to go off of, supposedly. Then I did a little bit more research, and their individual that made this render, his name, or I guess his forum name, is Zerv02. And I don't know a lot about this guy. There's been some people questioning his credibility. That picture I showed you earlier of the interior of the C8, supposedly that's him in the interior of the C8, so he would have a good idea of what it kind of initially looked like. I'm going to read to you guys what he talked about as to how he came up with this. I found kind of a quote from him of how he found or came up with this rendering. And it says, "Do not ask me how I saw this. I cannot comment on the exterior. Repost to my last thread. The last thread was deleted. The car is a game changer." That's what he's saying. "Unlike anything you've seen before, the interior, as I've stated before, is very close in resemblance to the current Ford GT or a Porsche 918 Spyder. It also hints at a Lamborghini Huracan." So there you go. That's where I guess he's kind of taking this copy and paste mentality and bringing an interior together. He also says the steering column, console, and dashboard is a carbon copy of that of the current Ford GT. So he's saying that, and that means GM is, I guess, potentially getting things from the Ford GT, which isn't a bad thing. I'm just curious on how true that is. I feel like the C8 Corvette, it is always going to look like other cars. There's always going to be, when you go this Italian look, especially with these digital interiors and everything, futuristic, you're going to have some overlap. But it says it's a carbon copy of the current Ford GT. I don't know how much I believe that, but we'll see. Almost identical steering wheel with a digital-only dash, unlike the C7, which is a combination. So there you go. We're going all digital, not analog and digital. And it says that in addition, there's another screen in the middle. It sort of wraps around the driver's side dash. Leather-wrapped square race-style steering wheel, which you can see, and a special emblem in the middle. He has like a little smiley face about this special emblem. I don't know if that's referring to the Zora that you can kind of see. I don't know. It's a lot thicker than that of a Ford GT wheel, which is kind of cool. The paddle shifters for the DCT, the dual clutch transmission, will be used for shifting. It won't be a manual variation. It's very similar to the Lamborghini Huracan's DCTs. So there again, he's kind of pulling from the Lamborghini Huracan. That notes that an ignition switch looks like it's pulled up out of a Lamborghini Huracan. This is probably one of the first things I have a major problem with. I love the switch on a Lamborghini Huracan. I think it's very cool. It's a fighter jet mentality that first came when the the Aventador first kind of was noticed and started coming out, and they kind of made that for it. It's very iconic. I have a problem if they steal that right to the C8. Again, very cool. I don't like if that is the case. I really don't know. I'm starting to feel like this guy's really pulling. I don't know. I can't give you whether this is credible or not. I'm just reading what he says. You guys get to make your own assumptions, and then let me know what you guys think in the comments, whether you believe this or not. Again, I'm pulling this straight from the Mid Engine Corvette forums. Obviously, the shaping is a bit different. This one also has different colors. He says, not sure if it will change for the production version. So he's really sticking with this, it has a flip-up switch for the ignition. There's a touchpad similar to the Daimler's, which is equipped in most of the Mercedes models. So, the Mercedes, they all have those kind of touchscreen, touchpad areas. It will probably function as a control for multimedia and writing things out. But again, I think it's stupid. So he doesn't like the look of it. So he's saying that this is what he's seen, and he doesn't per se really like it. Now, he could be saving face here, not acting like he loves everything. This kind of would maybe try to add to the believability, the credibility factor of what he's saying. If he's kind of saying, oh, I saw this, didn't really like it. If he's giving an opinion, that doesn't necessarily mean it's true, though. They didn't have very good feedback with it. Just a waste of space. In my opinion, people will just opt out for the touchscreen. To the right of the touchpad is a circle That I am assuming is going to be used for selecting your ride mode. Just like you can find in the C7, you have a ride selector mode. It's exactly like, yeah, the current C7. It has a silver lining to it. Now the buttons, and then he writes out the buttons, ... This is really hard to explain. The controls used for the multimedia seat controls, AC, heat, etc., they all run in a vertical line to the right side of the center console. It looks kind of odd, a little bit similar to the 918 Spider. I could throw up a picture you'll see here of the 918 Spider interior. And so, as you can see, we're definitely pulling. I hope GM's a little bit more original than this. And again, this is just one person's take, whether it's true or not. This could be completely just smoke and mirrors, someone just bringing this up. But the fact of the matter is, this is the closest thing we have to the C8 interior, and I hope it's not spot on, because I feel like we're wrapping. There are some really cool things we're wrapping. Maybe it will work, but I also think for the C8 to do this, to make this huge move, GM needs to go original. They're going to have to make some original parts. They can't pull the ignition switch off of a Huracan or a Aventador. They can't pull the pillars for the climate control from a 918. They can't just stretch out the C7 dash. The 4GT, they can't have that just as a steering wheel. They can't do all these things, in my opinion, and come up with what people aren't going to call as just a copy and paste vehicle. They need to be original. I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys really like it, it definitely looks futuristic. It looks like it could fit the bill. I still think, I'm hoping his render, again, is just copy and paste, and what he saw was just the closest things he could come up with instead of doing a full new render. We will see. Again, I'm very interested in this car still. I think the outside renderings, like I showed you earlier, they are getting so good. And we're actually, the next video, going to talk about a little bit more of the outside renderings on the car, but I'm very, very excited. I cannot wait to see this car debut. I am going to the LA Auto Show at the beginning of December. I don't know if they're going to debut the Corvette. I'm guessing it's going to be Detroit at the beginning of 2019, but who knows? I could get lucky. If I do, I will be sharing that all with you guys. It will be awesome. We'll see. But I can't wait to share with you guys anything I do see at the LA Auto Show. It's so much fun. I appreciate all of your support. You guys are the best. If you have any questions, comments, leave them below. Let me know what you guys think on this. I really want to converse with you guys and see, even if you don't like it, I don't mind negativity. Now, I appreciate, you guys being sincere and giving me your guys' thoughts. Now, I don't need negative towards me. I'm just, presenting you with this information. I'm not giving you my opinion on this other than I don't like the copy and paste aspect. I want to know what you guys think. I'm just trying to hear from you guys and converse with you guys. So let's keep, even you can be negative about it, but let's keep everything in a positive mindset. No over-the-top negativity, please. I truly appreciate that. But as always, thank you for joining me. You all have a great day. I will see you next video. Take care.